Do it. Do it. Come on, kill me. I'm here. Come on, do it now. Kill me.
Schwartzy, the podcast. It's a Schwartzy show.
I don't know why I'm getting so touchy about this. I'm hungry. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right, you're hungry?
I'm hungry, yeah.
You shouldn't do the pod on a hungry stomach.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay. So, hello and welcome to the Schwartzy podcast. We're your hosts, Milenko.
Alex.
Nice to meet you.
And welcome. Today's episode is Commando, which is one of my favorite Schwartzy movies. I mean, oh my God, dude, this movie's a bad movie.
Oh my God, it's such a bad movie. Oh my God, immediately the first two actors on screen were so terrible.
Oh my God.
So bad.
Okay, so I have a note about this first actor is I was really struck by the baldness of this man. He had he's like a blonde man with like full male pattern baldness. Like the like it's got the full ring. And then, like, the defined thick ring. And then, like, the wispy hair on top. With still the defined grooves. Yeah. I just never see bald men like this. Like, never see, like, the process of the balding in a movie anymore. So I really appreciate it. He was, like, a good-looking guy. And so...
I have to be like, well, yeah, I mean, he's still good-looking.
He kind of is a good... Well, I do think so.
He was. They were both so terrible, though. Him and his wife being like... You know that weird 80s acting where somebody's like... Oh man, I've got to do this in the morning. It's totally. Like, whoa, dude, who acts like this ever?
Oh, hi, Johnny. I didn't know it was you.
Oh my God. And okay, so they wake up, they're woken up by a garbage truck. And we get these like sanitation workers, among which are who?
Bill Duke.
Oh my God, dude. Bill Duke.
You scared, motherfucker?
Amazing. I love Bill Duke.
First Predator connection of this movie.
That's true.
Yeah.
There's a couple of other Schwartzy connections in this movie,
dude,
too.
Bill Duke is towers over Schwartzy.
Like, easily, like, 2 feet.
Yeah.
And it's like, Schwartzy's 6'2"? Fucking total lie. Total lie.
Yeah, so, like, something that's going to come up a lot is Schwartzy's height and debate over Schwartzy's height. I don't know. He lied. He lied that he's 6'2".
I don't know if he lied.
Like, do you... Yeah. Who
the
was
media
it? Like,
lies.
The media lied? So...
Can I just say about this scene? Okay, so the sanitation workers come, and I guess the implication is that these guys... Something menacing is going to happen.
Yeah.
The balding guy hears the garbage truck, is running out with the garbage being like, oh, it's today? And runs out with the garbage being like, hey, fellas, come get this garbage. And then Bill Duke and the fucking other guy fucking murder this dude. Loud machine guns murdering this dude. Okay.
Yeah,
Wait, hold on.
I gotta talk to you about this, because...
The implication is supposed to be that they're like dudes who are trying to be covert about this and fucking shoot this dude in the middle of broad daylight on the street. And then they drive away. They have to rent a fucking garbage truck.
It's true. That's what I wanted to talk to you about, is the garbage truck. Why did they have a garbage truck? Like,
for subtlety. They wanted to escape with no one noticing.
But like, they thought that it would be subtle to shoot this guy up with like a bunch of, like, not sniper him, but like shoot him with like machine guns. Like, so much.
And then put him in the garbage truck. At least take the body or something.
What was the garbage truck for?
Exactly. And they drove away so casually.
They took a page out of the Godfather school of, just like kill a guy and walk away casually.
Yeah. Which would have been cool if it wasn't like couched in these like weird, like, oh, we're going to be so cool and tricky about this. But they drove away so slowly, and it just seemed like anybody could have gotten the license plate of that, or been like, called the police and been like, a garbage truck just murdered some guy.
Because like that would stick out like a sore thumb.
Like, why go through the process? The next scene, the same thing happens. Bill Duke is at a car dealership.
Yeah.
And he fucking...
I love this so much.
Talking to the car salesman
who is such a sleazeball.
Such a fucking sleazeball.
He's like such a used car salesman, and he's like, Hey, yeah, get in. Yeah, start it. Listen to how it sounds.
Oh, feel the seats. They're not leather. Leather cracks. It's vinyl. Vinyl? Vinyl is the good
It's
one.
better than leather? What are you talking about?
Well, it's just like and then all of a sudden, Bill Duke fucking murders him in also the most obvious way, which is driving the car he just got into over him. The car that has a VIN number, no license plate. Fucking, who wouldn't be able to tell when Bill Duke walks into a fucking place?
Oh my God, you know what the best line is though? He's like, you know what I like best? The price. And then drives away. And then the guy's voice is like a different voiceover. It's like, it's like a lower voice.
Yeah. Oh man.
What are you doing?
I've got a fucking pimple on my pelvis.
Oh no.
Fucking huge.
Oh, don't do that now. The stunt actor was great in this scene. Is that a puppet or is it real?
There were so many amazing stunt scenes.
Dude,
in
was
this
that
movie.
a puppet? When
I don't
drives
think it
through?
was a puppet.
It's like a real person.
Yeah, it straight up was a real person.
I thought it was hilarious that they close up to the body. Like they do this, like, what's that called? Like a traveling shot? You know, like when it like moves. Because yeah, it does like a really drastic kind of like J.J. Abrams shaky zoom.
I don't remember that. On the body?
Yeah, on the dead body.
Remember that.
Dude, next scene is your boy.
Oh, dude.
Bennett?
This was also so outrageous because it seemed like, okay, so we know the movie, so we know Bennett is obviously part of the plan.
Yeah.
But the reveal is that like Bennett goes onto the ship, saggy dad bod Bennett goes onto the ship, and he comes onto a dock, goes into his like boat or whatever, and then we see Bill Duke and the other guy who's been killing the other two dudes.
Yeah.
And they explode the ship.
Yes.
Implying that all three of those dudes are dead.
Yes, exactly.
And we don't know at this point, in the plot, we don't know at this point, like, why this is happening, any of this.
But you didn't say how the ship was exploded. The ship was exploded with a remote control that Bill Duke is operating.
Amazing. Another fucking 80s thing, remote controls.
For everything.
For everything.
Bill Duke's name in this movie is Cook.
Yeah.
Isn't that a great name?
It is, and it's a cool name for him to have, too.
Dude, the next scene, the music starts. After this ship explodes, and oh man, it's our boy Schwartzy. At like 4 minutes in, oh my God, you see his feet walking, close up of his sweaty muscles.
I love that. I love the shots of his feet.
The chainsaw.
I love the muscles and the chainsaw, and like him fucking carrying that.
Okay, I want to talk about him carrying the tree, because you know when you're a kid and it's so important to you whose dad is stronger? so Schwartzy being the dad of dads, you know, like our surrogate Eastern European father figure, you know, with an accent in English. And like he comes out carrying a fucking tree. And I was like,
it's literally a tree. It's not even like a log or anything.
No, it's a tree. It's the biggest part of a tree trunk.
So, something that dudes that do those like, what is that like Scottish sport where dudes throw? Like,
I don't know what it's called. Yeah, where they flip those logs,
like giant logs. Like that's the kind of log that it is, and those dudes are like giant.
And dude, I wanted to talk about Schwartzy's signature spiky hair that he was rocking for a while.
Yeah.
I used to get that haircut as a kid, and I would go, okay, I have this story. I went to go to the barber shop at Cloverdale Mall, and that Polish woman that would always cut my hair, I told her, hey, I want a haircut like Arnold Schwarzenegger. And she had to stifle laughter.
Oh no!
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, I guess it's kind of traumatic now that I think about it. Not really. It's
Whatever.
Just like traumatic, kind of like, but funny traumatic because it's so like,
but it's so cringy.
I would laugh at that fucking kid too.
That dweeby kid.
Oh my god.
But now people are. It's not like people are going to be like, oh, I really want a haircut like The Rock because he doesn't have any hair.
That's true. That's true. There's no more good hairstyles for boys to get. Maybe, I don't know. In this montage, we see Schwartzy chopping wood and a small shadow figure sneaking up behind him. Surprise! It's Alyssa Milano, young Alyssa Milano, playing Jenny, his daughter.
I loved the way they tried to like, quote unquote, subtly make him like, oh, he's like, he knows somebody's behind him by like looking at the axe, at the reflection of her.
Oh, I love that so much.
I love that so much too. What I did notice, it wasn't after this, but what I did notice like throughout the movie, was how outrageously comic booky it is. And it was written by fucking, well, the story was by Jeff Loeb, who is a comic book guy.
I know about this.
It's one of How Did You Guess?
It's one of my How Did You Guesses.
Can I rock you a How Did You Guess right now?
Of course.
How did you guess?
Okay.
Please.
Who was supposed to play John Matrix?
I don't know.
Oh, dude. I'll give you a hint. He sounds like he's eating a garbage disposal. He sounds like he's eating Cookie Monster who ate Tom Waits.
Nick Nolte Day? I can barely get through one myself.
Gary Busey.
No, not Gary Busey. Fuck Gary Busey. That's who you took from. That's my impression of fucking. Oh man, that means I failed at the impression.
Who was that?
It's fucking Nick Nolte, dude.
Oh, Nick Nolte. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
I actually meant Nick Nolte. I actually meant Nick Nolte because I think Gary Busey and Nick Nolte, like, I still don't know which one's which yet. Like, I'm not sure. For some reason, those two guys are pretty similar to me. Who was the guy who had the show? The reality show?
Gary Busey had a show, and
Nick Nolte didn't have a show?
No, Nick Nolte didn't have. Nolte now sounds, when he was on Mark Maron, he now sounds like, no. He sounds like an outrageous old man. Do you remember?
A very permanent thing that my children can come and see.
Well, he sounds a...
No, that's fucking...
Jeff Bridges.
Oh, hey! Why do I sound like this now?
Tony Stark was able to build this in a cave with a box of scraps.
Oh man, when he did that reprisal of the dude in that commercial, that Super Bowl commercial, and it was just like, White Russian instead of like, oh man.
So we get this really sweet montage of Schwartzy being an awesome single dad who takes her for ice cream.
And, and fucking teaches her martial arts, and they're feeding a deer together.
Yeah.
And then they go fishing, and she like catches the fish, but then he like takes the fish off and throws it back in, and is like laughing about it.
It's the most 80s way of like showing closeness ever.
He honestly, he does seem like a cool dad, but then also like, oh, dude, like, does your daughter have friends? And like, why are you so intimate with your daughter? It's like weird and creepy.
I talked about this too because he kisses her on the mouth, and like, not to judge any like parent-child mouth kissing.
No, like, I do. I can't help but like be like, after a certain point, when you're a baby, fine. When you're a baby, fine. And when you're a little kid, fine. But when you're like, what is she, like 14? Like,
well,
it's
listen,
like, oh, she's starting to get into boys or girls or whatever.
Listen, I think that, you know, regardless of what your thoughts on daughter-dad mouth kissing, I think that regardless of that, a choice to do it in a movie where Alyssa Milano is not his daughter and actually like 14, and they kiss on the mouth, like, that's your choice?
Yeah,
you kissed
really
Arnold on the mouth in a movie.
Yeah.
Like, not, you know, like she did it for the movie, for the lols, dude. But
for the memes, dude.
She did it for the memes. I don't know. It's weird, right?
It's like, weird. It's not just fucking me. Weird, dude. No, it was like, okay. Context-wise, all the cool stuff that he was doing as a dad fully seems like a cool thing to do when you're on a date. Yeah. So it just makes it weird on top of everything.
That's true. With the ice cream,
with the
they
ice
like
cream,
do the
like,
silly.
Yeah, they're doing that silly thing where she like pushes his face into the ice cream because he wants to have a taste.
He's way too happy about that. Like, no one is ever that happy about getting ice cream in the face. You know what I mean? It would, in real life, it would be like, oh, what? Why the fuck did you do that? Like, you'd get like,
you're 14, dude. Why did you fucking do this to me?
I have to wipe my face off now.
Yeah. And she does. She wipes it off,
Oh,
which
that
also
was
makes
so
it
weird.
weird.
Wow, I didn't think about this as much.
No, immediately as I was watching it, I was like, oh, this is so gross.
Okay, so they're in the kitchen and she's making sandwiches. She serves them sandwiches.
Again, also a thing that like a wife or a girlfriend or like a partner would do, where it's like, we've had a fun day. You took me places. Let me make you a sandwich or whatever.
And she made him a card that's a heart and says, "I love you, Daddy." Oh no!
It's like
all of this sounds so weird.
It's really bizarre.
Wow. Okay. So this next line, dude. Schwartzy opens the paper. He's reading actually her teen magazine, and he says, "Why don't they just call him Girl George? It would save the confusion."
Yeah.
It's like, so Schwartzy's like, he's homophobic, right? Like that's like a
Obviously,
slur.
that is definitely a homophobic thing to say.
Yeah, and like a transphobic thing to say.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like that's like a thing that like I feel like is
Obviously, Schwartzy's not in touch with the gender spectrum.
Yeah, I mean, like especially at this point, but like, this seems like it would be. It's totally like within the realm. Like he's a military dude.
Yes,
but
so he's so conservative.
So he's
dude.
so conservative. Yeah, like fully. But again, like what we were talking about earlier, just in terms of like a sort of idea of, you know, like progressive thought, like this still seems like it went out of its way to like make this like this. You know what I mean? Like have certain scenes be a certain kind of way. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. Okay, so they do the thing where they start explaining Schwartzy's accent in movies.
I really like this. I thought this was sick.
Yeah, when he was a little boy in East Germany, you know, the communists said that rock and roll was subversive, and then he makes another transphobic, homophobic, or just homophobic joke, and he goes, "Maybe they were right." So like even this hardcore conservative dude thinks that communists are right because of their conservative values.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I thought that was really telling. That was like an interesting like touch. It seemed like it gave it some depth, but this movie is very surface and has very little depth.
For sure. But at the same time, like this is when what's his name? His general. What's his name again?
Kirby.
Yeah,
I love Kirby.
So Kirby comes in
with the
helicopter.
They lands with some guards, with some soldiers.
He comes off the helicopter, and Schwartzy sneaks up behind him and steals his gun.
Oh yes,
that's what happens.
Yeah, I love that.
But this is
to show how covert op Schwartzy is.
Yeah, and then Schwartzy says like, "You're the one, like, look who's talking, you're the one who taught me," whatever.
Yeah.
But this is the interesting thing that I wanted to bring up in relation to the homophobia.
Yeah.
And in relation to the
Don't
rest,
ask, don't tell.
No, not just that, but the rest of the movie, where he pulls out his knife, sneaks it away from him. And he said, like, this was the first of a bunch of weird lines in the movie that are simultaneously so homoerotic in contrast to the fucking movie, in contrast to the like already set up conservative value. But he goes, he says, "silent and smooth" in a way that's like so sexual.
I noticed this too.
Sexual.
I noticed this too. That was very, very erotic.
Yeah.
It was like, it reminded me of the like Picard episode, where Riker says, "Young Picard, hell-bent for leather."
Just trying to imagine hell-bent for leather, young officer insulting a nausicant twice his size.
I'd love to see that, Picard. Or something. I forget what he says.
So breathy.
Oh my God.
So sensual.
Loved it so much. Literally, we find out in context that Schwartzy was a mercenary that was a part of this special covert ops team that did specialized missions, and he has a lot of enemies, as General Kirby tells him. He's like, I don't know, could have been the Saudis, the South Americans, like any South American country.
I know.
And then he says something interesting. Who else does he say? He says, Syrians, South Americans, Russians, or a terrorist group. I'm like, what? Like
An arbitrary terrorist
or just like a
group?
random terrorist group.
Again, the thing of like fucking Americans being obsessed with terrorism. Like I never thought, like, remember, what was the other movie that they mentioned that in?
Yeah, that was in Terminator. Yeah.
Where it was like,
when
it must be a terrorist.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Yeah.
What is happening?
So like we get from this scene, like, I don't know, this could be, if you choose to like see this movie through like an anti-capitalist lens, you could be like, oh, these guys are just fucking imperialists. Like, he basically installed government.
Yeah,
like,
dude, straight up. Like I was like, oh my god, like yeah, he's done.
He's a part of a mercenary team that like installs like dummy governments.
Yeah, they do stage coups to topple governments in like Latin American countries. That's the implication. He is fully the bad guy in this movie, more so than any other movie. But here's also the weird thing: that balding guy and that sleazy car salesman were mercenaries. Those fucking losers.
Oh man!
In comparison to
is
fucking
that's the implication?
Because then Kirby says,
"Oh right,
the balding guy,
that's right.
What's his name? This car salesman and fucking Bennett are all killed."
That's right. That's right. He does tell Schwartzy that, and then Schwartzy's like, "Shit. Well, I guess stuff's going down."
He explains that all three of those guys, including Bennett, were killed.
Yes.
And then Kirby leaves saying, "Oh, I'm sending you these two army dudes to help you,
to save you." Yeah,
they're amazing. They're like you." And then he leaves, and immediately both those guys are shot,
get killed. And one of the guys is wounded, and he like crawls into the room. He's like, "Are you gonna survive?" He's like, "I can make it." And he's like, "All right, well, just watch out. They're downwind or something." And he's like,
You're downwind. The air current, they tipped them off.
Downwind? You think I can smell them coming?
I did.
Yeah,
I'm like,
outrageous.
what?
Like but this is like, if you look at it through the lens of like comic books, this dude is basically like the Punisher. He can just like murder. Like he's got such incredible physical strength in the movie. And you know what?
God, yes.
And you know what?
He carried a tree.
Not just that, but consistent throughout the entire fucking movie.
It is
so consistent.
You're right. Okay. Yes, you're absolutely right. He sends Jenny to her bedroom. She crawls under the bed, and he goes to his shed like a responsible Republican, like a responsible Second Amendment enthusiast. His gun shed that's locked by like passkeys.
Also another 80s thing where it's like beep 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 typing in a passcode and having a secret door open.
And then we get a cut.
I'm so sorry, dude. I gotta fucking pop this pimple.
Okay, sure. Alex has gone to the bathroom to pop a pimple on his pelvis because it's really bothering him. He couldn't focus on anything else, and he was sitting here squirming in his chair as we were talking about this, and he ran off to go pop this pimple. So you're waiting for Alex to pop his pimple right now. But there's a cut to someone walking into Jenny's bedroom. And Alex, I was just telling the audience that there's a cut to somebody walking into Jenny's bedroom. Yeah. And then we get a cut to Schwartzy opening the door. And the wounded soldier is now standing in the doorway and falls over dead. Is this a thing that happened in the 80s a lot as well? Or am I just imagining it? Where like someone is standing dead at a door? And did he die because he was trying to get out the door? Or was he put there?
It seemed carefully placed there so that if he happened to walk,
to move, like
what if he went through the back door and like opened the door and just saw this dead body? Like,
you can't stand a dead body up, can you? Is that possible?
So. No, I don't think so.
So did he lean the body against the door? It still wouldn't work.
No. Because you'd have to like pick up the body from the ground. Also, bodies are heavy.
Dude, one of my favorite scenes happens in the next scene because there's a guy there who has been set up to negotiate with Schwartzy, and he's like, "Hey, relax, man. Don't be waving guns around." He's so chill. I loved it so much because he's like, "Hey, man." Like, it's like, whoa, dude, this guy has a machine gun and he's like a dangerous mercenary.
I love
You're going to be this casual? And he's like,
"And if you want your kid back, then you got to cooperate. Right?" Wrong.
And shoots him in the head. And I'm
amazing.
like, whoa, dude. That's incredible.
Yeah,
like
and
that's
also-
so something that is so satisfying on so many different levels.
Yeah.
Of like someone trying to lord something over you, and you're like, and they're like trying to like make you do something that you don't want to do, and then they're like, yeah, you're gonna do this, right? And you're just like, nope. He sees the bad guys getting away with his daughter, and it's Bill Duke, right?
Yeah.
You scared, motherfucker?
He starts following Bill Duke, but he realizes that his car has been like compromised. It's been damaged. So he pushes the car in neutral and then like
Drives
rolls
it
down the
a
hill.
hill.
Oh my God. This was so off the hooks because like it was so off the chain. Because it was ridiculous. Like that plan to do that, to roll down a hill randomly like that, just with no aim or intention, just like barreling down. It's so perfectly American. Like it's so perfectly like, I'm just gonna do this like head first, like smash through a wall.
I'm gonna like shoot first and ask questions later.
Shoot first, ask questions later, okay? Okay, got it.
Yeah, totally. And so
even the notion of like, oh, I'm not going to do something rational, like talk to this person about getting my daughter back. It's just like, no, I'm going to shoot him. And then I'm going to go shoot those other people.
And he's rolling down this hill.
I just want to
And he smashes into like the ground, and the Bill Duke and his gang stop, and they're like, hey, like, you're going to calm down and come with us. And then Bennett is revealed to be alive. This was played for a reveal, but it's like it was like 5 minutes of,
I know, exactly. There was
like,
no mystery. Also, he's wearing his fucking mesh shirt and his leather pants, dude.
Oh my God.
Oh, dude. His
I have a how
leather
did you
pants.
guess? I have a how did you guess about Bennett?
Please.
Okay.
How did you guess?
Did you know that
No, I don't know anything about Bennett.
Okay, did you know that Bennett was supposed to be played by another like more like bodily appropriate guy to wear that kind of mesh shirt, but then they just got this other, they recast this actor who's like you've said, like he looks like an intimidating guy, but compared to Schwartzy, like he looks like a smaller dude. Like he looks like a dad fighting like a superhuman.
Bill Duke is a person that looks like he could
Intimidate Schwartzy. He
looks
towers over him.
Yeah, he towers over him. He looks like physically capable of overpowering him.
But this guy does not look physically capable of overpowering
but he
Schwartzy.
is taller than Schwartzy. He does. Something just seems not as intimidating.
Why did they choose to make him Australian? I mean, what was the purpose of
He's
that?
an Australian actor.
I know, but like this is supposed to be like an American mercenary team with like an East German, and like they hired a communist and a fucking like Australian.
You know, it's also funny. I read a fucking thing. This doesn't have to be a how did you guess?
How did you guess?
But it's so funny. It said in the trivia, they've remained friends till this day. Him and Schwartzy are friends. Bennett.
That's amazing.
It is amazing. And it's like, oh, that's kind of nice.
That's really amazing.
Oh, yeah. Also, he has this weird, again, I don't know if I was like sort of tipped off at the beginning by what Kirby said, but Bennett also says, ever since you kicked me out of your unit, I've waited for payback. And it's like, that's a terrible reason to like kill and kidnap and like...
Yeah, so like this is set up as like kind of like this big raison d'etre for this guy. Like he's like...
Yeah, like
really
he's got
pissed.
a personal like thing with Schwartzy. But again, it feels like homoerotic. It feels like
very true.
I've been slighted by an ex-lover. Like it felt like this is what I'm saying. If it was a woman,
yes,
she would have been the femme fatale of the movie.
I agree. I think
like
so.
she would have been like, oh, you kicked
like
me out
there's
of
like a tension. There's a sexual tension with Bennett.
Sexual tension.
I noticed that too. So he's got a bone to pick with Schwartzy, and today's payday. He shoots him with a sleeping dart. Sleeping darts were also a thing in the 80s that I loved. So Schwartzy wakes up and he's surrounded by Bennett, Dan Hedaya, Sully, and another henchman. This henchman name is Henrique. Oh my God, I love this guy so much, but we'll get to him. Dan Hedaya is doing an accent and is in brown face.
Latino face.
Cold outside and you need to bring a sweater unless you're Dan Hedaya.
Oh my God, dude. I was so excited. I was so excited to talk to you about this because it was just the most in the moment, I remembered that he was supposed to be a Latino guy from a fucking fictional Latin American country. And I was like, oh my God. Dan Hedaya, Latino face. Oh,
I'm gonna pass out.
So fucking
I'm gonna
good.
pass out. Oh
so
my God.
fucking good. Because
I gotta catch my breath.
He's so fucking dedicated, and it's just like, whoa, dude. Talk about problematic in 2019. Oh, you would never be able to get this. Oh my God, dude. It was amazing.
It's true.
His accent is terrible. It's terrible.
It's terrible.
But he's still so dedicated. It's like Al Pacino fucking what's it called? Scarface dedicated to it.
He's so good at this movie. It's awful, dude. It's awful. But
also, they did darken him. They made him darker.
They fully did. But
in the HDness of a Blu-ray, you could tell that they were like, oh man, this makeup is so terrible.
He did a really good job though. He's a good actor.
Also, David Patrick Kelly, who plays fucking Sully, some of the outfits in this movie, his outfit in particular.
Who also maybe shout out Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
That's Twin Peaks.
Amazing in Twin Peaks.
Amazing in Twin Peaks. Amazing in this movie. His outfit is awesome. Yes. His billowy fucking 80s outfit.
Oh, and he's such a bro.
He's
oh my God.
such a piece of
I
shit.
loved Sully. I love just the character, the sleaziness of this character.
Yeah.
He's so easy to hate. You're just
he's got such a punchable face. But you can tell this dude is this guy seems like a really nice guy who could play this really fucking well.
Dude, Dan Hedaya explains to Schwartzy that they pretended that Bennett was dead and set up the other two murders so that they could find. They wanted to specifically find Schwartzy because he's the only person that can kill the president of this fictional country that he installed.
I thought this was a cool idea. I mean, I thought the conceit was interesting, but it makes no fucking sense.
It makes no
Why
sense.
fake one of the person's deaths so that another person could do this and kill two of the other people?
And then
putting
Schwartzy's
everyone on your trail,
Schwartzy's like, why doesn't Bennett just do it? And he
seems like he'd get off on this.
Why don't you have Bennett do it? Sounds like something he would get off on.
Again, that's a line he says.
The sexual tension.
He gets off on this.
Yeah, the sexual homoeroticism. Yeah, it's great. The next scene, Schwartzy's at the airport, and the two guys that are there to make sure he gets to where he's going are Sully, who gets to see them off, and Henrique, who goes into the plane with him. I love the banter.
Hair.
Oh my God, I loved everything about both these guys.
Long hair, dude. He's wearing a hat at first, and you think it's just regular hair that's just long or whatever, and then he takes it off and straight up balding, dude. The style that we should both rock.
I love the balding long hair. I loved it so much. It was so wispy. There's a lot of really cool balding in this movie. But yeah, so Sully's being such a sleazebag, and he's like, hey, here's some money so you can go get some beers and we can spend more time with your daughter.
It'll give everyone a little more time with your daughter.
It's like, ew, dude.
I know.
She's a teenager. Even if you're gonna
she's barely a teenager.
No, but if it's just don't oh my God, that's so disturbing.
Yeah, this guy is just fucking gross. Throughout the entire movie, he's just whoa, this weird pervert. Also a pre 9/11 thing, casually walking through the fucking metal detectors.
I love that so much.
Nobody just
nobody did anything. No liquids check. No one opening up their laptop computers.
Yeah. It was
a different time. It was a better time. And then also another thing, when they get on the plane, they're like, please extinguish your cigarettes. It's like, oh my God. Okay. And then he can have a blanket and a pillow, please. And
To the stewardess.
And then he smashes the guy's face and breaks his neck.
Oh my god, dude! Like that was so insane. Because it's like, dude, you have to be really fucking strong to
break a
choke
dude's
somebody
neck.
out, let alone break their neck.
Oh my god. And then he says the best one-liner where he goes,
And do me a favor. Don't disturb my friend. He's dead tired.
Nice.
I loved it so much.
It was awesome. And like the thing is too, though, like now that I think about it, we have talked about the fact that he is consistently strong. He can lift a fucking log, like that entire log. Yeah, I believe that this guy can sitting in a sitting position break this dude's neck.
oh my god, it was amazing. He's somehow able to get into that luggage underpass. I always like when I saw this movie, I was like, where is this part of the plane?
Yeah,
like it seems like there's way too much headroom. Like
also when he's passing by the stewardess again, she's like, sir, you need to be seated. And he's like, I'm airsick.
I'm airsick.
But like the way he delivers the line is like really weirdly
like
menacing.
sensual.
Yeah,
or
but like
it seems like like he was trying to threaten her.
Yeah, like
I'm airsick.
Yeah.
Do you think he's just like doing anything he can to get his daughter back?
I think
so. He was just like, I'm going to be menacing to this woman.
Yeah, and then yeah.
Wow, do you think they thought that? They wrote that in?
It just seems weird. It was like, how do you direct a line like that? That's the weirdest part. It's like, do you want to make her afraid of you? Because she could just be like, sir, please go back to your seat.
Exactly.
Like, what is she gonna? She's gonna expect this dude to.
He's not gonna hurt her.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he's able to get out onto the wheel of the plane. I don't remember him falling this far.
He falls so far into like a really shallow puddle of like whatever that pond was.
And then it's like a marsh. Are they in Florida? Where's this set? Because the music is like kind of like calypso drums.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. I loved it.
Yeah,
I love the music in this movie,
really
dude.
cool.
Dun, 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 dun. The calypso drums.
I really like the music in this. I don't think it's Florida because the trees. It looks like weirdly. It's not like they're palm trees.
They are palm trees. No palm trees.
No, but they're in like the woods or something. Like at the beginning, right?
I don't know. Yeah, it's where are they? Where are they? I don't know. But Sully calls Dan Hedaya and they make plans. And then Bennett comes down with like to meet up with Dan Hedaya, and he's holding Jenny in such a like weird way. Like she's just like, let me go, kind of like, and it was, you know what I mean? Like it was just like,
I don't remember.
You don't remember this?
No.
He just makes a call, and then he's like, put her in the deck. And
Right.
And then they go off in a boat to that island.
Yeah.
Anyway.
What I liked about this scene too is that I like movies that set up times.
Right.
Like where it's like, it's an 11-hour flight. And it's like,
I love that.
I love that.
That was a good touch because then Schwartzy sets his watch to 11 hours, and that's how much time he has before anyone finds out. Schwartzy goes back to the airport. He's in the crowded airport, and he sees Sully, who's creeping on our new character, Cindy, who is another, how did you guess, if I may do right now?
How did you guess?
Tommy Chong's daughter.
Oh my God.
Tommy Chong's daughter.
I knew that.
So I'm here with my good friend Ray Don Chong.
I knew that. I knew. I was like, I've seen, who is this person? And it wasn't just like, oh yeah, that's amazing, dude. That's amazing.
She's great in this movie.
She is pretty amazing.
It's cartoony, but she's great.
It's so outrageous.
We're introduced to her. She's talking on the phone with her, like, I guess, a boyfriend or a lover or something. And Sully sneaks up behind her and he's like, hey, he must not like you enough to cancel a date on a pretty girl. Like he's being all like trying to mac on her, you know?
Can I just, some of this like timeline stuff doesn't make sense. First of all, she says before she hangs up on her boyfriend, I'm assuming, she goes, my flight to Vancouver got canceled.
Oh yeah.
And then at the end of the phone conversation, she goes, I like you too. It's like, what a weird, like,
I'm in like with you too. No, she doesn't say that.
No. It's
in
like,
I like you too. Yeah, that was a weird line.
It's just a weird line. I don't know. Like, I mean, I guess like, I don't know. Like I've said that to people. Like I've said I like you, but like I guess in real life it makes more sense. It doesn't matter. But yeah, Sully's just like hardcore. He's just such a fucking creep and starts following her.
Follows her, dude, and gets like rapey, man. Like, 'cause he's like, he says something like, "Come on, baby," or like, "Let me show you," something like that. I don't know.
And then, she's like, "You're a fucking whore."
Yeah.
Walks away. It's like, whoa, dude.
He By Felipe's her. Do you know about By Felipe?
What's that?
By Felipe is an Instagram page where like women post screenshots of like when men got like rude to them and said like violent, hateful things. So like, you know, like when they feel rejected. Oh, there was one that Anna recently showed me where it's like by Felipe, someone waves at someone else, that wave thing on Facebook, and they're like, "Wave back, you slut," or something. Like it was something like that. It's like outrageous.
Like now I know, but it is a By Felipe.
Schwartzy grabs Cindy by the neck and tells her that he won't hurt her, which is the least scary thing you could hear when a strange, muscly man grabs your neck.
Not just that. This was really funny to me because he goes, "Don't move, and I won't hurt you," and then goes, "Step aside," and she goes, "You said don't move."
I love that.
I thought it was amazing.
It was funny. It was played for humor. And then he rips out the car seat. Okay, as a kid, I thought it was so cool that he could rip out a car seat.
Dude, so many of these things, I was like, whoa, dude, if I could do this, that'd be so cool.
She says that she needs to go to a karate class, and he's like, "You're going to miss it," because he makes her follow Sully.
This is the thing. Okay, these are the two things I wanted to mention. One, why are both her car and Sully's car don't have roofs?
And they're both Porsches.
They're both Porsches. Not just that. Again, she just said her flight to Vancouver was canceled. Why did she bring her car to this?
And also, she doesn't have a karate class. I mean, she was probably lying to get
she was
to get
probably
away.
lying.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is like,
I didn't get that. I'm an idiot.
I didn't understand why she had a flight to Vancouver and why she brought her car. Also, was she a stewardess?
Oh, maybe. Oh, yes.
Is that why she's wearing that outfit?
Yes, she's wearing the flight attendant outfit, and she says she's studying to be a pilot.
Flight
she's
attendant.
She's studying to be a pilot.
That was such a weirdly cool touch because it comes back later in the movie, which I was like, as outrageous as this is, again, all of these things hit like comic book beats.
Absolutely.
All of them are like, how can we set this up so quickly? And all of the action in the first few scenes that we've mentioned play out like a comic book. You introduce the bad guy, you introduce the good guy. The bad guy in a panel shows up because time doesn't move in the same way in comics as it does in movies.
Do you think that the reason she was being nice to Schwartzy in this next scene is like a self-preservation mechanism?
That was such a weird thing. I think
because she like asks him his name.
Yeah, like it seemed like she was like smart enough to be like, oh, like if I buddy up to this person, maybe I can get out of it. Because
he says that he's a retired colonel from the army.
Yeah.
And she makes a comment about paying his taxes for his pension.
Yeah. And she also says, "You're not going to kill me, are you?" And he's like, "No. I guess you wouldn't tell me." "Sure I would." "Really?" And then he turns to her and goes, "Trust me." And it's like,
it's the first trust me.
Trust me.
Schwartzy's trust me's, yeah.
But also, Cindy doesn't seem afraid at all.
No.
At all.
And she's like driving pretty masterfully to keep up with douchey guy.
Yeah, Sully.
They follow Sully to another parking lot in a mall. And Schwartzy follows Sully into the mall, but bringing Cindy along with him. And he finally explains the whole story to her about his daughter being kidnapped.
Give me back my son!
And he asks her to like seduce Sully and bring him to him so that... What did you write? What did you write?
I wrote this down too, but also like
what a weird plan.
I did. It's such a weird plan. But why also did he explain it while they were driving? Like they were.
He had so much time to tell her. He was telling her other exposition, but he was being kind of coy with her, like not giving her too much information. It's like what?
Yeah, like it was so bizarre. Like you're a person. Also, he was being like weirdly candid about his history. It was like, yeah, I'm a mercenary. Weren't you like a secret ops guy? Like, isn't that the implication? Like they gave you new identities. Like
he says to her, "Please help me. Don't you understand? They're going to kill her." And I'm like, how is she supposed to believe this random stranger? And she doesn't, because she finds a mall cop inside this bar in a mall. I don't know. Why is there a bar in a mall? Is that normal?
How did you guess this about this mall?
Sure.
How did you guess?
This is the same mall from Terminator 2.
No fucking way.
I swear to God, dude. I swear to God.
Oh, that's fucking amazing.
It's amazing, dude.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I just thought of it now. I read it just recently. And
what
I
a
was
bombshell. Okay, hold on. But why is there a bar in this mall?
I don't know. It feels like a real place. Like it seems like there's
it totally feels like it's a real place, like a real bar in a real mall.
I mean, it's like a pub. It's more like a pub than a bar.
Right, but it's called
like
restaurant and bar.
That's true. That is
They're
weird.
drinking booze in a mall?
I don't know. I mean, it's America, dude.
Yeah, I guess so. And then, okay, so this mall cop sequence is amazing because the mall cop calls the other mall cop on the walkie-talkie who's like macking on some ladies, and he's like,
also seeming like teens. Like they fully seem like, they seem way older.
And they're just like, all right, let's take care of this. And they get like all the mall cops to corner Schwartzy.
But dude,
meanwhile, Cindy's looking over at him.
What one of the mall cops says to the girls, "Do you want to see me kick some ass?" What?
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I love it so much. Sully does an exchange with a random guy in this bar of money for passports, fake passports, I guess. I don't know why. Something to do with, there's like fake Latin American country, right? And then, dude, he sees her. And he's like, hey, I found someone. Like, he's like, oh, I found you.
He sees Cindy, you mean?
Yeah, he sees Cindy. What did I say?
You said just her.
Oh, he sees Cindy.
Yeah.
And then he sees Schwartzy. And he's like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
And he panics and he's like, I have to call them now.
But he's also like, give me a quarter. Give me a quarter. It's so violent and
he
so
pulls at her.
outrageous.
He pulls at her.
It's such a well played scene because it's just like it's pure panic and pure anger that like
he did play it super well.
He played it so well.
And then he goes into a phone booth and Schwartzy gets to the phone booth after fighting off 7 mall cops and rips the phone booth out of the ground and
with
flips
him
it
in it.
Oh my
and
gosh.
Flips it.
This was amazing.
It was so awesome.
This was so cool.
Yeah.
And it looked like he really did it. Like,
yeah.
Because the way he throws it, it kind of like he gives out a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
Yeah.
So, dude, one of my favorite things that ever happens in a movie happens in this movie. And do you know what that is?
Tell me.
Schwartzy, in order to get to Sully, who's escaped in an elevator, unties a yellow balloon from the ceiling and swings on it like Tarzan.
Yeah.
And then reaches the top of, it's one of those open elevators and he's on top of the elevator.
What is that called? Like an external elevator? Whatever, it doesn't matter. But he falls on top of the roof of the elevator.
I love this so much. I've always wanted to do that.
Oh, it would be awesome.
Sully gets away in his Porsche. And
then
Schwartzy steals Cindy's Porsche and he drives out and it's nighttime. And Cindy sees the car, just happens to run out at the same time as the car, which is so outrageous. So not believable. And she's like, hey, wait for me, and gets in. Like, that's how they explain
why
he would never waste time on that, ever.
Never. And not just that, but she gets in and then goes, are you going to tell me what's going on? He literally, in the last scene,
he told her exactly what was going on. She recounts the whole story in a panic, which I thought was really funny. You jumped on this elevator?
I know. She tells him what the audience already saw him do.
She says to him, are you going to tell me what's going on or what? And he goes, no. And she goes, no. And then she goes, ah, and screams and holds her head in such a funny, cartoonish way. I love this so much.
It was amazing. After like a really cool car chase between Schwartzy and Sully, where Schwartzy is smashing Porsche into another Porsche. He finally gets Sully to stop.
Sully has the douchey yellow neon Porsche.
And Schwartzy delivers like one of the coolest lines in the movie
ever.
He punches Sully and
he steals a key, like a motel key, from his pocket. And then he starts beating him to find out where Jenny is, and he holds him. He picks him up.
Wait. Before that, he says a cool line which I never noticed before. He goes, He's punching him, trying to get information out of him, and he won't tell him. Sully says something equally like snippy and cool. He goes, "Loyalty is very touching, but it's not the most important thing right now. What is important is gravity." And he picks him up and holds him over the fucking mountain.
The true nature of gravity.
That's such a heady line. That's such an existential line.
It's so outrageous to give Schwartzy a line like that because I barely understood him. I had to rewind it a couple of times.
Oh my God,
but when
it
I
was
heard the line, I was
amazing.
like, this is so fucking cool.
I 100% agree with that. I wrote that down as well. And then he says, "Tell me where she is, Sully." And he says he doesn't know, but Cook knows.
You scared, motherfucker?
And I'm meeting with him, so you need me alive because you don't know where he is. And he's like, "Well, I do because I've got your key." And he's like,
Remember, Sally, when I promised to kill you last?
That's what made you did.
I lied.
"Oh my God." He goes,
and then a dummy falls.
Oh, I love dummies falling.
Oh, dude.
When it's a puppet?
No, puppets are different, dude. Puppets are something you control. Dummies are something you just throw. But no, but this is the thing. This line in this movie is like, dude, this is a crazy person. This is not a well person to be like I get it. Your daughter is like kidnapped, but like this was like out of like, no, I'm gonna do this to you. It's
He's like murdering people.
It's
straight up like
chladno,
like
you know,
cruel murdering. Yeah,
it's like no, I'm gonna murder you now.
So he says to Cindy right after this, he's like, she goes, "What did you do with Sully?" And he says, "I let him go."
Yeah. Which is like,
it's like,
did you hear him just fall? Didn't you see him carry
right
this
there.
person?
She's like witnessed so much gunfire and murder at this point.
So casual about
She's
it.
seen like Sully kill a person. She's seen Schwartzy kill a person.
Several people get shot by like gunfire at this point, right?
This was outrageous, and familiarity is built between them so quickly.
When
She's just
they're
like,
driving,
yeah, whatever.
And she asks what happened. Like they're driving to get to Cook at this point.
You scared, motherfucker?
And Cindy asks like, what happened to Jenny's mother? And to set up that he's a nice guy, he's like, oh, she died when she was born. And then he talks about how he missed like recitals and her third birthday and whatever, being on like missions.
Yeah, it's supposed to set up how like, you know, Jenny in the beginning of the movie is saying to her dad, like, "Don't leave me again. Don't leave." She's really concerned that her dad's gonna leave her.
Yeah.
Which I guess like makes the like weird closeness make sense.
Yeah, the
but
weird
it's still,
sexual closeness.
Oh my God, it's so gross. It's so creepy.
But also, like, why are you telling this fucking stranger so many weirdly intimate details about your life? Intimate details. Why is she here? Why did you bring her? Why did you stop?
And he also tells her that he went on special assignments for the imperialist American government.
I know,
instilling dummy governments in Latin American countries.
So weird.
America was really proud. Like, you put this in a movie?
Well, I mean, they did fucking... I mean, you do remember fucking Rambo First Blood Part 2, where it's just like Jingoism, the movie, where it's like, let's go back to Vietnam and win.
Oh my God.
You know, like, and that was written by fucking James Cameron, so...
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
Jenny is placed into a room in this, it's like a compound on this island.
Yeah.
Where is the island? Is it in America?
It's a fictional Latin American country.
Oh, so they're in a different country.
Yeah, they like pointed out in the movie. Yeah, they're in a different country.
Oh my God, that's so weird.
I'm pretty sure.
I've never heard of that country. I was like going to be like, hey,
no,
is
it's
this
not
real?
It's not real.
Like, am I just so ignorant?
But like also maybe I'm thinking maybe they are in the States still, because maybe I'm thinking that the fake country is the one where they got onto the plane to get to.
Yes, that's right, because it takes 11 hours to get there.
Right.
And so this is still America, I guess, or like a fictional America. It's like, what city is this?
I don't know. It seemed
I don't even know what part of the States it is.
I don't know. I think it was like Latin, like a Latin American place. I don't know. I feel like
really,
yeah, that it was in like on a compound. No,
well, the island, the island,
yeah, the island
where they go, but they take
there.
a boat there.
They do such a weird fucking movie.
Okay. So they take a boat there. Cindy decides to join Schwartzy.
Yeah, they get to the hotel and she like comes with him and he's like, where are you going? And she's like, I'm gonna help you. And it's like, but why?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Like what? And then
I mean, it's kind of cool though, where she's like, okay, this is an adventure.
Dude, Bill Duke starts arriving.
You scared, mother?
And Schwartzy makes Cindy go answer the door. And
they go into the motel because they use the key.
Yeah.
And then Schwartzy turns on the shower, which is awesome. I thought that was awesome.
Good touch.
And then tells her to like pretend that she already seduced Sully.
Yeah, and that they had sexual relations. And then and so she opens the door and she's like, "Hey." Oh yeah, he rips her top button open, which
that was weird.
That was so weird. And then it was like kind of threatening, right?
Yeah, it was both sexual and threatening, where it's just like, I'm doing this.
Do you think he's still using force to intimidate her, to make her do things that he wants? Because at this point, she's like joined him, right?
Joined him. Yeah, it just seemed like an idea that he had. I think that was like dude. And then Bill Duke comes in.
Oh my god, this fight with Bill Duke, because
it's amazing.
I love it so much because Schwartzy flips him over not once, but twice, dude. And he's shooting all over the place. They slam down a door and go into another hotel room where the couple is having sex. Why were there always couples having sex in hotel rooms all the time?
And not just that, but like, how were they having
in the
sex?
80s.
Because the way the blanket comes off them, the woman is behind the man
She was
and pegging him. But also like
that's what I was. That's my headcanon.
Of course. But at the same time, like, why is there always a blanket over both of them? Both their heads.
No one ever has sex with blankets on. No one has sex with blankets on. Let's be real. Sometimes you do if it's cold.
But this is the thing too. Bill Duke goes, "Fuck you, asshole," and then Schwartzy goes, "Fuck you, asshole."
Fuck you, asshole.
Fuck you, asshole.
Literally, like how you and I, if we were playing Commando and making up a storyline where we were like kids playing a game, inventing a story. That's how kids invent dialogue.
I love this so much because he tries to shoot him. And like he says, "Fuck you, asshole," and then when the gun doesn't work, he goes, "Fuck you, asshole." I loved it so much.
Yeah, me too. And then fucking flips him over and impales him on a fucking table.
And then he's like, "Where's Jenny?" And he can't answer the question because he's impaled. So dead now,
dude. Like that was so insane. Again, Cindy sees this and is fully like.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. In contrast to fucking Terminator, where everything, justifiably so, is freaking out Sarah Connor because she's a normal person. Yeah, the next scene is them breaking into the hideout of... They find the like, what's it called?
Receipt?
The receipt of this place. And they get to initially...
Well, yeah, I didn't understand this. There was like an oil yard for planes. That's the explanation. She's like, "Oh, it's about planes. I know this because I'm going to be a pilot." What? Like,
oh yeah,
what?
Like she sees
that was
receipt.
Like a weird explanation. So anyway, it doesn't matter. Somehow they find out it was totally like a Batman and Robin in the 1960s movie Batman, where they're like, "C for Catwoman."
Yeah,
pretty fishy. What happened to me on that ladder?
You mean where there's a fish, there could be a penguin?
But wait, it happened at sea. See? C for Catwoman.
Yet, that exploding shark was pulling my leg.
The Joker.
It all adds up to a sinister riddle. Riddler?
Yeah, like finding clues where like they make no sense but to the main character, and it's like, oh, okay, I guess.
No, those made no sense to anyone, dude. Like, the shark was pulling his leg, it must have been Joker.
Yeah. Because the shark was pulling his leg. No, I meant this one.
Oh my God. Oh no, this. Okay, yeah, you can forgive this. Like they're just like somehow we find out we need to go to this place.
Yeah, for sure. So they get to the hideout initially where
Schwartzy was taken in the beginning.
Where again, this seems like it has like
it's like a compound with military weapons, and they were okay. So it wasn't clear where this was either, because it was a lot of like Latin American soldiers speaking Spanish, and like preparing all these weapons for this fake communist Latin American country. Is that what are they evil communists? Is that what this is?
Well, yeah, that's the implication because of like Russia and the other Latin American countries that they mentioned earlier, right?
Wow. Yeah, that's wild. Schwartzy climbs into the side of the building and rips off the panel, crawling inside, and he sees all these weapons, and he beats up a guy in an office and stores him in a closet, which I thought was really weird. And then he helps Cindy by like, how did she know that he was going to be there? How did he know she was going to be there?
Fuck you, asshole.
Like, this is where the movie, like, it falls apart a little bit. It's like, what? None of this makes any sense.
But here's the thing. It does sort of make sense because he says, "Oh, I'm going to give you a signal," but doesn't tell her what the signal is
at all.
And then just later on,
"Hey, Cindy."
Hey, Cindy. Like, it's like, wait, that's the signal? They find out where the island is because they see some maps and like, whatever, he's a mercenary dude. He knows how to read maps. And she can fly a plane.
This was ridiculous too. Like, how did they realize that was the island that he's like, how did he know this must be where Jenny is?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Well, she said, no. But she says, remember the oil receipt that she gets?
Oh.
She's like, only this kind of plane goes to here.
The amphibious plane.
The amphibious plane.
I love the amphibious plane.
And then she also another 80s thing.
Amphibious planes?
Amphibious planes.
Yeah, DuckTales.
So many DuckTales.
Was it DuckTales?
No, it was
not DuckTales.
What's it called?
Tailspin. Tailspin.
With Baloo as the like, why was Baloo there?
Yeah, and Darkwing Duck was there. Was he? Was Darkwing Duck there too?
I think that was for me that was an interconnected universe of like
Darkwing Duck.
Let's get dangerous.
Darkwing Duck.
Baloo was in Darkwing Duck.
No. That
What's
was like
the crossover?
another guy who was like a pilot. Who cares? This isn't the movie.
Dude, Schwartzy says to Cindy that he needs to go shopping.
What an outrageous fucking scene this is. Of all the outrageous things that make no fucking sense, where did he get this like
bulldozer
to fucking plow through a store?
And then he goes in the store, and just like I love and every kid loves the weapons preparation and booby trap setting of Home Alone,
strapping things onto you, preparing for things, putting like
the montage of like well, he doesn't do that yet in this movie.
Not yet. I'm
this
just
is
saying
him just getting the weapons. Oh yeah.
As a kid, when you put on like smear the what is that called? Is that makeup?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like camo
on your face or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, they just fucking He doesn't like jerry rig the door. He doesn't he chooses the most impractical way to get caught by police way.
And the most like reasonable thing that happens in this movie is that the police come at this moment.
Totally.
It's like, of course, like they would get there fast if someone like was smashing through a store, a weapons depot.
Yeah. Is it Los Angeles?
I think it's LA. It looks like LA.
It looks like LA, right?
Yeah. Maybe. I don't know.
I just thought of that now.
But where's there an island?
I don't know. You've been to more places than I have.
But I think this is like a fictional, I don't know. They never say.
A fictional America?
A fictional America.
It could be. Like it's like I said before, it really does feel like a comic book.
Dude, Schwartzy gets arrested and put into a police like one of those box vehicles that they carry.
Like cube?
Have you ever seen that in real life?
No.
That doesn't exist, right? Like those cube vans that
also,
they like.
Why didn't they arrest her? They don't arrest her.
They don't arrest her, and then she still has all the weapons.
Yeah,
that
she
he
still
stole.
has all the weapons. She still has the car that's fucking.
And she drives
they took from
towards
Bill
them.
Duke.
You scared, motherfucker?
She drives towards them with her stolen car and all her weapons cachet she has now, and then she takes a rocket launcher and shoots the cube van. Like
No. First, she shoots backwards into something random in which she could have murdered people.
And then she shoots the cube van, flipping it over. Like, did you think he was going to survive? Like, did you suppose that, like, that kind of rocket launcher would not kill someone?
I wrote the same fucking thing down. Then I thought about this. She saw this dude rip a phone booth out of the wall and throw it over him.
That's very true.
I mean,
and also beat up like 17 people.
Yeah,
like
totally.
he beats up so many people.
Totally. And then but before that, before he escapes or helps him to escape, Schwartzy tells the cops to call Kirby. He'll explain it. It's like, why would they believe
they
you?
Would never believe you.
You fucking bulldozed a mall, and then before she fucking shoots at them, she like seduces them.
Yeah,
and they're like weird, gross perverts too. Everybody's a fucking pervert in this movie too.
Everyone's a pervert in this.
Where they're
movie.
just like, hey, this chick is like gonna fucking blow us or whatever, and it's like, what?
They totally act like that. It's so outrageous.
It's like 80s gross guy from like a horror movie. Like, have you seen Maniac?
No.
Oh, you'd love Maniac, dude. But it's like perverted in a horror movie kind of way, where somebody would be like before they get killed.
Yeah,
you know, it's like that kind of pervy where it's like 80s gross guy pervy.
Dude, skipping ahead a little bit here, they get into the amphibious plane and they steal it. And they get caught by the bad guys trying to escape, and she can't start the plane, and Schwartzy's shooting at the bad guys, and then he gets in and smashes, like another 80s trope of like smashing actually happens in a movie that came out the same year as this movie, 1985, Back to the Future 1. Marty smashes the car and it starts working again.
Nobody calls me chicken needles. Nobody.
So that was like a big thing in the 80s.
Also, he says, Schwartzy does say it works every time. But before this, the Colonel Kirby comes to the fucking destroyed store and is like, that John Matrix, by the way, his name is John Matrix. We didn't fucking even touch on that.
Oh my God, that's
John
amazing.
Matrix. Where is that from? That's not
John
Eastern European.
Matrix.
John Matrix. But the
No,
best,
that's his new. Maybe that's his new name.
maybe
that
he
they
chose it. Maybe he was just like,
it's his chosen
that's
name.
cool.
That's amazing.
But Kirby is like so casual about this, and it's like, God, John always destroying fucking stores. It's like, this guy fucking, all right, he might be a right-wing nut with guns or whatever, but he's got a fucking store. He's a businessman. He's not trying to do anything bad.
Unreasonable.
It's everybody's so unreasonably casual in this movie about the amount of destruction that happens in this movie.
Dude, next scene surprised me so much because they're flying in a plane. They take off and they get on the intercom with the air traffic controller, and the air traffic controller is none other than Bill Paxton.
Bishop, hey man.
Oh my God.
I couldn't believe that Bill
God.
Paxton's in this movie. I heard that voice over the intercom, you know, that Texan twang.
Yeah.
And
Awesome.
I was just like, that's amazing.
Oh, dude, that's the second movie he's in with Schwartzy?
Dude, it's such a pleasure to see him.
It
I
is.
love him so much.
I fucking was so sad when he died.
I was so sad when he died.
When I was listening to the radio and like I was driving and I had to stop. I was like, fuck, dude. Like he was also like a dad. He was also like, hey man, you know, like,
yeah.
like Bishop, hey man.
Bishop, hey man.
Like all these like, and then eventually fucking Big Love where he was like, stay away from my family.
I want to introduce you to my family.
I love your impression of that. Yes, Bill Paxton is such a delight to see on screen, and yeah, he kind of like makes me a little sad every time I see him now too, but also happy.
Also not playing like a total douche or a doofus.
No, just playing like a
just
very
a regular dude.
military guy who's like, trying to be safe and about his airspace, and he threatens to shoot these guys down.
Yeah.
And then they get lower into the atmosphere.
To like fool.
This movie doesn't make any sense.
No, it makes no sense. Again, it follows this like sort of comic book logic that like there are these one line sort of fixes that you're like, yeah, this is what it is. It's almost like a first draft where it's like, I'll figure out a way to fucking...
Totally a first draft. Dude, Jenny is using a tool to try and cut through the wall and escape. And in the meantime, Bennett is like not even impressed with the soldiers at this compound. He's like, one of the soldiers says, I could cut through her neck like butter. It's like, what? Ew.
I said the same thing. And then he says, I love listening to your pissant soldiers talk tough. It makes me laugh. Matrix would laugh too. Your soldiers are nothing compared to me or Matrix. I could kill, like, could kill
again, back to this homoerotic. This is
weird.
This movie is totally Freddy Part 2ing.
He's inside me and he wants to take me again. He owns me.
Oh, totally.
Like hidden gay message of like just like, I think so much repressed homosexuality in this movie.
Totally. Also, wait. Just this slitting.
He says, the only thing standing between you and Matrix is me.
Oh, yeah. That
was. He's like, but even I'm scared.
Yeah. And it's, but you know what? I really like this, that line, because he's like, Dan Hedaya actually says, I'm not afraid of Matrix. You are. And he goes, of course I am, because I'm smart. I like that kind of shit. But here's also a really weird thing is that, like, why are Dan Hedaya and Bennett talking about this plan so much? It's like, didn't you plan it already?
Yeah, that was
so much of the movie is like, we have to tell the audience.
Like
the
evil
audience doesn't know.
schemes.
Yeah, like mustache twirling.
Yeah, for sure. That was annoying, but no, it wasn't annoying. I find that
great.
endearing.
Really
I love
funny.
that. Yeah,
it was really funny. No, it's just like I'm asking, just like for the purpose of like real life. Why would you do that? Like, why would you keep?
Dude, our heroes Cindy and Schwartzy, John Matrix, land the plane. They land it nearby, and in order to stay out of sight, they've kind of like parked far away, and then Schwartzy's getting into a boat and he's in a fucking Speedo, dude.
That was amazing. I wrote that down too. It was incredible to see him in that because it just looked ridiculous. Him seriously delivering lines.
Yeah,
he
tells Cindy to relay a message to Kirby, and he tells her what to specifically say to him and how to get in touch with him, which was cool. Speaking of him looking good, he fucking does another setup, strapping on everything scene. He puts on that
like
camo,
a vest and the camo
makeup. He puts on the vest. Oh, the vest is so cool.
But
he has grenades on him,
dude.
And then he steps, and there's like glorious light shining down on behind him.
Dude, I wrote this down where it's like he gets on the island, puts his weapons on, and it looks literally like the same scene from Hot Shots where Charlie Sheen is doing that.
Right,
it
but
looks
they're parodying
like a
it.
parody.
Yeah. It does. This movie is so cartoony. It's so over the top.
But it takes itself so seriously.
So seriously.
It's not winking at all.
Ever.
Also, did you notice?
It's so genuine. It's so genuine.
But also, did you notice that whenever he used the binoculars, they weren't regular binoculars. They were like these high-tech binoculars. But like it would cut to him using them, and it's like, those are just regular binoculars.
Exactly. I did notice that.
And then just right now, it's just a murder spree of people.
Oh my god, dude. So there's so many henchmen, and he kills so many people. I don't remember this being this many people.
No, because this is the director's cut, dude.
It's like hundreds of people.
Yeah, like, and just never runs out of bullets.
Is this what the director's cut was?
This is what the director's cut was.
Oh.
Never runs out of bullets. Never feels the need to change his clip for more bullets.
Oh my god.
He's just constantly shooting.
I love this so much more.
Amazing.
I love this so much more. Dude, Dan Hedaya gets the call he gets the call.
You mean Latino Dan Hedaya?
Whether it's blackface, brownface, or yellowface, painting your skin to portray a person of color boils their existence down to a stereotype.
He gets the call from his henchmen in Valverde who have found a dead Henrique, and they've now let Dan Hedaya know that shit is down. And he's like, to Bennett, kill her. Also, about the daughter.
He's so dead. He's like discolored, and it's like, whoa, dude, that's what happens to bodies after 11. I guess 11 hours is a long time.
Like, the crusty blood out of his nose.
The bad and terrible.
Do you think he'd start smelling yet?
Probably. Oh. It happens pretty quickly because he would start like farting and stuff from like his body eating itself.
Oh my god, that's so gruesome to think about. Dude, Bennett discovers that Jenny has escaped. Intercut with Schwartzy killing people with fucking grenade launchers. We see also Cindy leaving us a message to General Kirby, and finally the message gets through. And Schwartzy is a literal one-man army. Like, this scene goes on for so long. I didn't okay, yeah, you said it's the director's cut, so it's
but extended. It's not that much longer. It's really not that much longer. Most of these murders happen in the original movie too.
Wow. And Schwartzy gets hit in one scene in his side, and then he hides out in this shed, and he gets surrounded by soldiers who like demolish, like just like all shoot in a circle, like cartoonishly. I know we keep saying cartoonishly, shoot into this thing.
Yeah.
And they try and go in, and Schwartzy, this is the funnest part.
Yeah.
He comes down from the ceiling and starts just like murdering people.
He stabs a dude with a pitchfork, fully cuts another dude's arm off, throws a saw blade and chops a dude's head.
Yeah, or his neck or head.
Chops a dude's head, part of a dude's head off, and then throws another saw into a dude's neck.
Whoa.
It's outrageous.
The music was also really good. It's very like, synthy.
And then finally Schwartzy gets to the house and he goes into the, like, he's like looking for her in the house and like shooting up dudes. This is what
Meanwhile, she's in the basement being chased by Bennett.
But then Schwartzy hears her in the basement, prompting him to go down, but Bennett doesn't hear her?
No, but he before this, he kills Dan Hedaya.
How could we forget the amazing killing of Dan Hedaya?
Dude, Dan Hedaya's panicking and he's like brandishing his gun around in kind of like a jerky, panicky way. And then he tries to shoot at Schwartzy, and Schwartzy just shotgun shoots him at the top of the staircase. So many times. But it's just like the same cut of it just going...
No, but it does that like 80s thing where it does like a... Where it like...
It's like no one can reload that fast. Yeah, no one can
reload that fast. It's just like a quick succession of cuts. And it's awesome.
He kind of dies pretty unceremoniously, right?
Yeah, it's weird because like they constantly sort of set him up as the main bad guy. And then, but Bennett is the really main bad guy, but he's like also like a dumpy, like looking guy. So it's like, he's not intimidating.
Exactly.
It's so weirdly anticlimactic with Dan Hedaya.
Yeah.
Given the fact that like with Sully, he was so vicious.
Yeah.
Like he was like, I lied.
Well, here time is a factor,
I guess
right?
so. Yeah, that's true.
He's got to find his daughter, so he can't be creative in his killing, in his murdering. So intercut, we see the scene with Bennett following Jenny, and Jenny hears her dad, and she starts going towards the voice and gets captured by Bennett, and then Bennett shoots John.
Yeah,
or Schwartzy in the head. He grazes him. Yeah, exactly. And John starts. Okay, this is where what you said about this being a homoerotic story of like repressed homosexuality. John starts like messing with Bennett's head.
Wait, hold on. He goes.
He's like, stab me, please.
I only have one arm. You can beat me. You don't want to pull the trigger. You want to put a knife in me and look me in the eyes. Don't deprive yourself of some pleasure. And Bennett looks like he's about to jizz his pants, dude. He's like,
come on, Bennett. Let's party. I can beat you.
By the way,
Yeah.
the tagline of the movie is "Let's party."
Wow.
And here's the thing: Bennett starts hysterically yelling, "I'm gonna kill you now!" It's like, it's not even panicked. It's literally hysterical.
Yeah,
it's so outrageous.
He loses it. Like, he just starts.
Yeah,
So do you think this is like gay panic
Yes.
losing it? Wow,
Yes.
that's interesting.
He's like ready to jizz his pants in this moment. Like he's like, I don't need the girl. It's like a pleasure for him. It's outrageous.
Oh my God, I've never thought of it that way. The fighting in this scene is so bonkers. Like, so much stuff happens, from like them holding each other's heads to fire, to them like John being beaten with a pipe.
And then he pushes Bennett into electricity, which was
Bennett
also an
gets
80s thing.
Oh, getting electrocuted? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Everyone loved electrocution in the 80s.
Yeah, he gets electrocuted and is like, ah!
And then he goes, which also plays into the homoerotic themes we're talking about. He goes, takes out a secret gun he's been hiding, and he goes, I'm not going to shoot you between the eyes. I'm going to shoot you between the balls.
I'm not gonna shoot you between the eyes. I'm gonna shoot you between the balls.
And then Schwartzy takes a literal pipe, a dick pipe,
rips the pipe out,
launches it through Bennett, and it
threw
goes
him into some
like a steam machine.
It is a steam. There's no way. What is it?
Machine. And then steam is coming out of Bennett, and Schwartzy goes, let off some steam, Bennett.
Let off some steam, Bennett.
And it looks like it's jizzing.
It literally looks like jizz is coming out of him. Absolutely.
It's as satisfying to me as coming is.
Absolutely.
Wow, this movie, I never knew it had this tone. That's really fucking cool.
I mean, that's...
Has this been talked about before?
But this is the thing.
This has been talked about before,
I have
right?
no idea.
Like, we're not the first people that have observed this.
I've never like read anything about it. So
I never read anything about it either.
But here's the thing. This is what I'm saying. For me, this isn't like one of those moments where I'm like, oh, that's like an interesting interpretation. That's cool. Like, for me, all of this is like completely tone deaf and completely. That's the weird thing.
Right.
Like,
right. You just think they're missing the mark at all times?
I think they're missing the mark at all times.
This 80s ending song is like such a like the power we get to.
Yeah. Like,
the helicopters fly in, and so does the amphibious plane. Cindy gets out of the plane. She's happy to see Schwartzy. Schwartzy's happy to see her. Soldiers are getting on the island where like Schwartzy has just left bodies, and he's killed literally an entire army to get his daughter back. And Kirby says, leave anything? And Schwartzy goes, just bodies. And then Kirby's like, you should join us again and make us another good army. And he's like, no. Or like not a chance or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then he like gets off with the inspirational 80s music. Yeah, I mean, great epilogue, great movie.
But
like,
also,
it's so much fun.
But here's also an outrageous thing. Cindy hugs Jenny as though they've known each other, as though Schwartzy's known her for a little bit more than 9 hours.
And is it implied that they're gonna get together and be a family?
Of course.
That's so weird.
So weird.
Yeah, like, is she gonna be a mom to the kid? Like, they fly away?
Yeah, and also like they're not gonna like debrief this dude. They're not gonna like put him in a situation where they're like, oh yeah, like what happened? Tell us what happened. Instead, they're just gonna like take this girl away, and he's not gonna like. She's probably traumatized.
Yeah, totally.
She's been kidnapped.
It was a really traumatic situation. She saw a bunch of people die.
Also, there's like a weird thing that happens in a lot of movies where children see their parents murder people and they're totally fine with it.
Yeah, that's true. Listen, dude, I have 2 questions for you.
Yeah.
How's your pimple? Did you take care of it? Okay, great. My second question is, what did you rate this movie out of Schwartzy's? How many Schwartzy's for this movie?
Dude,
Schwartzy's pretty fucking Schwartzy.
He's so Schwartzy in this movie.
This movie it's more good as a Schwartzy movie than it is as a movie.
Yes. Yeah. I'll definitely say that. I'll
like, this is the beginning of like another
Man, it's
era
always
of
the
Schwartzy.
beginning. I feel like we've always said that. Every single podcast.
No, it
has
is
said-
because every movie he reinvents himself, dude. That's
true.
what made him
That's
so
what
cool.
made him so dynamic.
That's what made him so cool.
He's so awesome.
He took risks, man. This movie is such a risk for him. Like a
Is it? What?
What did you give this? Hold on.
Yeah.
Schwartzy's. I need to get that first, and then I'll tell you my last. How did you guess?
How did you guess?
I gave it because I just don't think of it in that way. 59 Schwartzys out of 62 Schwartzys.
Okay, that's a pretty good score. I give this movie personally an 8.5 Schwartzys out of 10. And just for a regular star rating, I would give this movie probably like, it's a bad movie, dude.
No, it's such a bad movie.
But it's so much fun. So does it get more points for being fun?
Yeah.
Okay, 6.5.
6.5. I would give it a 7. I'm giving this a 7 just because it's like, again, like,
I mean, I love it, but I feel like I'm just too biased.
You know what?
I don't know if I could give it.
Fuck it. You're right. Like 6.5
I
is
don't
a good
know if I
enough
can
rating.
fairly give it. You know, it doesn't mean that you don't love it. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, it's true. I mean, it's not a good movie. In fact,
no,
6.5 is a lot.
Dude, do you know what's next? Do you know what's next in the Schwartzy
I'm gonna guess
lineup?
Predator.
No, man.
No?
It's Raw Deal.
Raw Deal.
Raw Deal is a forgotten classic.
That movie is a bad movie.
And dude, let me just say one last thing as a how did you guess?
How did you guess?
I think that Die Hard 2 was supposed to be Commando 2. Is that true?
That's 100% true. No, not just that. Die Hard 2 was you're right. Die Hard 2 was supposed to be Commando 2 and just ended up being Die Hard 2.
Yeah.
And it just but that makes absolutely no sense.
Anyway, thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of Schwartzy the podcast.
Yeah, follow the Schwartzy short film at Schwartzy Movie. That's SCHWRTZYMOVI.